Winter's sub-zero temperatures have not stopped the migrants at Poland's border. This group was rescued from a swamp by Polish soldiers. Medics said they were lucky to survive. Europe has long experienced migrant crises, but the emergency on Poland's border was manufactured, say analysts, with the weaponizing of migrants by Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko.
In order to retaliate on the support for his political opponents by the EU countries, and also for the sanctions, the set of sanctions that were put by the EU on Belarus in the aftermath of the rigged elections.
Lukashenko relaxed visa restrictions for migrants from the Middle East and South Asia, including Iraq, Syria and Iran. Europe accused Lukashenko of luring them to Belarus and then directing or even ferrying them to the EU border. Lukashenko denies creating the crisis. The first migrants crossed into Lithuania in July. By August, far greater numbers were gathering on the Polish frontier. Polish authorities moved quickly to reinforce the border, imposing a state of emergency and blocking access to journalists and aid groups. The migrants seeking asylum in Poland were pushed back in often violent confrontations. Belarusian soldiers then forced the migrants back to the frontier. Many reported being beaten and threatened, with nowhere to go.
As you see, everybody almost dying of the cold, hunger and everything.
Poland accused Belarus of conducting a hybrid war.
We know this is a fully planned operation which aims to disrupt the sovereignty of our country. Lukashenko's regime uses civilians as weapons of a hybrid war.
Poland passed emergency laws to deal with the crisis.
It gave priority of pushing people to the border, so the practice of pushbacks, over recognizing their asylum claims. On the one hand, Europe seems to be the beacon of human rights and democracy, and on the other hand, it is engaging in those very legally dubious practices.
Europe imposed further sanctions on Belarus. Meanwhile, Russia gave its support to President Lukashenko, blaming Europe for the humanitarian crisis. With the route to Europe effectively closed, the flow of migrants has slowed. Hundreds have been flown back to their home countries. But analysts believe the crisis is far from over.
Lukashenko will resort to the strategies that worked throughout the summer and autumn of smaller groups of people being pushed across the green borders.
Geopolitical tensions and migrant pressures have converged to form a new crisis on Europe's eastern flank that looks set to continue into 2022. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.